Clemency to former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, a Democrat. He resigned back in 2008 after being convicted of perjury and obstruction of justice. He's currently facing a 28-year prison sentence. Also receiving clemency, rappers Lil Wayne and Kodak Black, who were prosecuted on federal weapons offenses. The president, however, is not expected to issue pardons for himself or members of his family or his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. The former New York City mayor was at the forefront of unsuccessful efforts to get the results of the 2020 presidential election overturned. He also rallied with Trump supporters just before they stormed the Capitol building on January 6th. The possibility of pardons for the insurgents had reportedly been discussed, but almost everyone involved in those discussions aggressively advised the president not to. Trump has already pardoned a slew of longtime associates and supporters. They include his former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, also Charles Kushner, the father of his son-in-law, and his longtime friend and advisor, Roger Stone. Also, his former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, and also on the list, 4 former Blackwater guards who were convicted of killing 14 Iraqi civilians. We're joined now on the phone by Brad Blakeman, former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush. Brad, any names on this list surprising to you?
No, they really aren't. Look, presidential pardons and commutations of sentences are controversial by their very nature. If we look back in history, Barack Obama, in his 8 years, pardoned 148 and gave clemency to over 1,000. George W. Bush, 189 pardons, 11 clemencies in commutations. And then Bill Clinton, 396 pardons and 61 commutations. So when you look at it in historical terms, Donald Trump falls way short of his predecessors in either granting pardons or commutations of sentences. Everyone will have their own opinion. The president has the ultimate power. And, in a week's time, nobody will even remember this. But Bill Clinton pardoned a member of his family, his brother Roger, for drug offenses. And if we go back in history, we will see that as presidents leave office, they have a history of either pardoning or giving commutations of sentences to very controversial figures.
Brad, also I wanted to talk about the fact that it sounds like he was strongly discouraged from pardoning himself or anyone in his family. Talk about that and why that's important, something that he maybe should not have done.
Well, the reason being is when you grant a pardon, the person receiving it is basically admitting they've done something wrong. The question is, what has the president, if he were to do that, having to admit to that he did wrong in order to receive a pardon? So it's a double-edged sword. It's never been done before. It could have been challenged. The ultimate authority of the president to do that, it would set a dangerous precedent if he were to do it. I think he made the right choice in not only himself but his family. I don't think there's any need to, and I think that's what the lawyers argued to the president, that if there's no need, why do it?
Yeah, we're looking at the list that just came out of all the pardons that he did grant. A name that stands out that's not on the list, Julian Assange. That was a name that people were discussing as potential, someone potentially he could pardon, but that looks like that did not happen. What are your thoughts on that?